The internet is a very crowded place, and in this episode of Think Inside the Square, I'm sharing with you some actionable tips that you can use to build a strong online presence, from choosing the right platforms to focus on to creating engaging content and building a loyal community. You'll learn some practical tips that will help you stand out in a crowded digital world. Welcome to Think Inside the Square, a podcast full of tips and tricks to help you create a website that you're proud of. I'm your host, Becca Harpain, Squarespace expert and educator and creator of InsideTheSquare.co. In this episode, I'm sharing some practical tips that will help you build a stronger online presence. For a transcript of this episode, along with the links to any resources mentioned, visit InsideTheSquare.co/podcast. The term Squarespace is a trademark of Squarespace Incorporated. This content is not affiliated with Squarespace Incorporated. Let's face it, the online world is a noisy place. There are millions of people vying for attention, and it can feel impossible to stand out as a newbie. With countless social media platforms and blogs and podcasts at our fingertips 24/7, it's tempting to try and be everywhere at once. But here's the thing, trying to be everything to everyone is a recipe for burnout and mediocrity. I know firsthand how easy it is to get caught up in shiny object syndrome, and honestly, I still do it pretty regularly. But when I first started building my online community, I was eager to try every platform under the sun. I was posting on Facebook, I tried Twitter, Instagram, Pinterest, and LinkedIn, all while trying to keep up with my blog and my YouTube channel. And guess what? I got super burnt out. I was spreading myself too thin. My content was suffering, and I was not seeing the results that I wanted. It was so easy to get distracted with the other platforms that I didn't realize the power of focus. So instead of trying to be everywhere, I made the executive decision to double down on YouTube and on my blog. By concentrating my efforts to create content for those two specific platforms, I was able to spend more time creating higher quality content. I was able to build a stronger community on both of those platforms, and ultimately, that's what helped me reach a lot of my business goals. Now, this concept isn't just my theory, and if I had paid closer attention to the businesses out there that I admire, I would have seen countless successful entrepreneurs take the same approach. Let's take Amy Porterfield, for example. Yes, she posts on a lot of different platforms these days, but all of her fans know that she really hit her stride when her podcast was her number one focus. So this is the first takeaway of this episode. Instead of trying to conquer every platform out there, pick a few that you really enjoy creating content for and make sure that's where your target audience hangs out. By focusing your energy and your resources on those specific platforms, you will be well on your way to standing out in the crowded online world. Once you know where you want to be online, you need to be there consistently. That's the second takeaway from this episode. You've probably heard the saying, consistency is key, and it is absolutely true when it comes to building an online presence. By consistently creating and sharing valuable content, you're establishing yourself as an authority in your niche. Your audience will come to rely on you for information, and they'll be more likely to engage with your content and to share it with others. That's how I was able to turn Inside the Square into its own business. I was a website designer for well over a decade, and I quickly learned how to write custom code for Squarespace by answering specific client requests. One of those requests was how to change the color of a button on a hover. I felt so cool when I figured it out, so I recorded a tutorial video about it and I put it on YouTube. Well, that tutorial video, that was a hit. So many other Squarespacers loved the code that I created and wanted to learn more. So I made myself a promise and I said, okay, we're going to start posting every single Tuesday for the next 3 months. I had a huge database of code saved from all of my old projects, so I knew exactly what I could share. This is content I was excited to share, and video format on YouTube was the best way to share it. So there I was, every single Tuesday posting a video. Well, fast forward 4 years, and I now have the world's largest online database of video tutorials for customizing Squarespace. And all of it started by maintaining that consistent content schedule. Now, don't get me wrong, creating a consistent content schedule can be extremely daunting. There are going to be days that you'll feel uninspired and life will get in the way, but it's important to remember that consistency is more important than perfection. Even if you're not thrilled with every piece of content you create, it's still valuable to your audience, and it's still important to show up consistently when you tell them that you'll show up. Committing to publishing a new blog post, a new YouTube video every week for 4 years has not been easy, but it has been worth it. And by sticking with this consistent schedule, I've been able to build a loyal community of people who look forward to my content. When you regularly show up for your audience at the same time every week, you'll be building anticipation for your next post, your next video. This will help your audience stay engaged and keep them coming back for more. So what do you need to share consistently? Video. Yeah, I'm confident about that answer. Video, my friend. Video content has exploded in popularity, and for good reason. It's engaging, it's informative, and it's a great way to connect with your audience on a personal level, but to also show a visual of what you're explaining or sharing. Whether it's YouTube or TikTok or Instagram Reels or another platform, video can be a game changer for your online presence. So let's break down why video is so powerful. In a world overflowing with information, video really does stand out. The combination of visuals, audio, and motion will instantly grab a viewer's attention and keep them engaged. Now, in a video, you can explain complex topics in a simple and easy to understand way. You can teach a new skill or demonstrate how a product is used. A video can make it a lot easier for people to understand and make the information more accessible to everyone. Most of us at our core are visual learners, and seeing it on the screen is so much more powerful than just reading something. Seeing someone's face and even just hearing their voice can also help create a personal connection with your audience. Now, did you know that Google owns YouTube? That's why you see videos in your search results, because video content is loved by Google's search engine. So creating video content that provides valuable information to your audience can help you attract more traffic from organic searches. And the best part is it doesn't have to be complicated or expensive. Little known fact, I do all the recording and editing of my videos myself. Yep, me and my computer, week after week. And I used to be terrible at it. Some of my earlier stuff totally makes me cringe. The audio was absolutely awful, but I've gotten better. Am I the best? Far from it. But the information I share is so much more important than having a high quality set or fancy makeup or clothes. I've found that the people who are looking to me to learn something don't care if I'm in a fancy new studio. They want the answer to their question, and that's what I can offer, so that's what I focus on. I'll add a list of equipment and programs that I use in the show notes, but I'm here to tell you that you can start creating video content right now with your smartphone. Find a quiet spot and simply talk to the camera about something you're passionate about. As you gain experience, you can invest in better equipment and better software over time. But remember, the most important part about all of this is that you need to get started and you need to stay consistent. I want you to aim to publish new video content regularly. Pick one day a week like I did, and maybe expand to 2, but start with once a week so you can build a loyal following and keep your audience engaged. Okay, mid-show recap before we keep going. We've established that you need to pick a home base, 1 or 2 platforms to focus on. You need to consistently share content, and ideally that content is video-based. But there are more pieces to this puzzle. To really stand out online, you need to build a community of followers who are eager to hear from you, and you need to show up where they are, not just online, but in their inbox. It's time to talk about your email list. Your subscribers are people who have actively chosen to hear from you, which means they're more likely to engage with your content and ultimately become customers. So how the heck do you grow your email list? Or how do you even start one? There are several strategies you can use. I actually have a free class on this, a video class that you can find on YouTube, and I'll link to it in the show notes, but let me give you a breakdown of the concept here in this podcast episode. You can offer valuable freebies like ebooks, checklists, or templates in exchange for an email address. This is a great way to incentivize people to sign up for your list. By providing something of value up front, you're showing potential subscribers that you're an expert in your field and that your content is worth their time. I want you to place these opt-in forms, the form that a person fills out to get that freebie, place them strategically on your website, inside your blog posts, and don't forget to add them to your social media profiles. The goal here is to make it easy for people to sign up for your email list by placing those forms in high visibility areas on your website and your social media profiles. I often include an opt-in form in the footer of websites that I create, including my very own. You should also regularly remind your followers about your email list. This is something that I struggle with, so I'm going to do it right here, right now. Sign up for my email list at InsideTheSquare.co/email. Every week, I'll send you tips and tricks to help you make Squarespace uniquely yours. You'll get exclusive info and invites that I don't share anywhere else. And to join the fun, all you have to do is sign up at insidethesquare.co/email. So there you go. Just do more of exactly that. Now, building an email list isn't just about collecting email addresses. It's about building a community of engaged followers. Respond to emails, ask for feedback, and create content that resonates with your audience. Share more insight in an email than you might share in a blog post. The more you interact with your subscribers and the higher value of content that you share, the stronger your relationship with them will be. I found that building a strong email list takes time and effort, and it's one of the most important things that I've done in my business. Providing valuable content and nurturing those relationships will help you build a loyal and engaged community. And the bigger your community, the easier it is for you to stand out online. The truth is that our online world is constantly evolving. What works today might not work tomorrow. That is why it is crucial to embrace the mindset of continuing to learn and adapt. I think of online marketing as just this big experiment. You're going to try new things. Some of it will work wonders and some of it will flop and some of it is completely out of your control. And that's okay. Every experience, especially in business, is a learning opportunity. I want to encourage you to stay curious and explore new platforms, trends, and strategies, attend webinars, listen to podcasts, and read industry blogs to stay updated. Don't be afraid to step outside your comfort zone and try something new. Remember, there is no one-size-fits-all approach to online success. What works for one person won't work for another. The key is to find what resonates with your audience and what you enjoy doing. Building an online presence is a marathon, it is not a sprint. This requires dedication, consistency, and a willingness to learn and adapt. I want you to focus on building a strong foundation by selecting a few core platforms that you enjoy engaging with. Create valuable content for those platforms and use them to nurture your community. Experiment with different strategies like video content and work on building your email list so you can create an audience of people that want to hear from you. Don't be afraid to experiment and to try new things because the only way to find out what will work for you is to start somewhere. I hope you're inspired by this episode of Think Inside the Square. I have so many resources to share with you, including my free class on list building with Squarespace. You'll find all kinds of goodies in the show notes at insidethesquare.co/podcast. Thank you so much for listening to this episode. And most importantly, have fun with your Squarespace website. Bye for now.